Hey guys, Jordan here and welcome back to my gaming channel named It's Game Productions, and today I have another episode of my Clips and Tips, the episode in which you can ask me pretty much any question that you want and I will do the best I can to answer it as best I can. So today I have a few questions. Actually, a couple of them are actually left on a non-Clips and Tips video, but I'm going to answer them on this video anyway. But the first thing I want to address is actually all you guys are asking me for a setup video. Like, I can't upload a single video, it seems, without someone asking if I'm going to do a setup video. So just to answer your question, like, as soon as I will do a setup video, and I will do it as soon as I hit 3,000 subs, and I have a little thing planned for that video, maybe a little bit of a giveaway or something like that, so be sure to subscribe and everything, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, we'll move on to the questions you guys have left me now. So the first question is from James Wiseman. He says, thanks for the advice on this video. My FX8350 fan is very loud. Is there anything I can do? I set it to quiet on the BIOS and updated the BIOS too. Now, it's kind of difficult to actually determine what the problem is. It could be something to do with the fact that it wasn't seated properly on the CPU, so you may need to reseat it, but to do that you'd actually need to reapply the thermal paste. So what I'd actually recommend in your situation is you buy a new CPU cooler, so like a heatsink and fan combo sort of thing. And the sort of thing I'd recommend you buy, you don't need to spend like lots of money, you don't need to get yourself like a H100i or an NHD14 or something like that. You could just go out and buy yourself something nice and simple like a Hyper 212 Evo by, I want to say Cooler Master, but I think that's probably wrong. Don't quote me on the fact that it's Cooler Master, but something like a Hyper 212 Evo, it's like £20, it really is very cheap and it provides excellent cooling for something such as an FX8350. So yeah, what I'd really recommend you do if you want to quieten down the sound that your fan makes is just install an aftermarket heatsink, because it's basically the one that comes with the FX8350 is not really good. Well, it's good enough to keep it cool, but not good enough to keep it cool at a reasonable volume, just because of the fact that it's got such a small fan and such a small fin array that it just cannot work well enough to keep it cool and quiet at the same time. It's just a unfortunate fact about the FX8350 is that it does produce a fair amount of heat. But if you go and get yourself an aftermarket cooler, it doesn't have to be that expensive, just make sure it's AM3 plus socket compatible, you will be pretty much fine, and it will definitely reduce your noise by a very considerable amount. So I hope that helps. So the next question is from Mr. Minecraft Central 12, and he says, does upgrading your CPU help performance? In terms of what, I'm not really sure if it helps your performance. I'm gonna say in like Minecraft or something like that. I'm just gonna guess from your username that you play Minecraft a lot. Upgrading your CPU helps performance in all tasks related to your CPU, which is basically anything which isn't related to making an image on your screen. So in games it may be like working out where the AI is going to go. If you're playing Minecraft, it'd be calculating what blocks there are going to be around you and such. So it will also increase performance in things like video rendering, video editing, photo editing, anything like that. It will increase your performance. In terms of increasing your frame rate in games, then the easiest way to do that is actually by increasing your graphics card, which is a slightly easier job, I would say, than upgrading your processor if you're using a desktop PC, because it's simply taking one out of one slot and putting it in the other. You very rarely have to worry about compatibility, you just have to make sure your power supply is good enough. So I need a bit more information as to what you need help with performance for, and I'll be able to help you a little bit better than that. So the next question is from Captain Fruffy21, and he says, do you think the AMD A10 5800K is a good CPU for gaming? If you're planning on using the onboard graphics on it, then it's acceptable, but what I'd really recommend is you stretch the extra 30 or so quid and get yourself an A10 7700K or a 7850K, just because of the fact that it's a newer generation of APUs and it's got much faster graphics performance and allows you to hybrid crossfire with something with a bit more power, such as the R9 260 or something along those lines. I believe it's the R9 260. It could be the R7 260. I don't like the new Radeon naming scheme that much, to be honest. It makes sense, but I just don't get on with it at the moment. But yeah, it's a good, if you're using it CPU only and you've already got a dedicated graphics card, I wouldn't recommend getting an A series APU, because you're not going to really use the onboard graphics. You'd be better off getting yourself something like an Athlon 760K or something along those lines, just because they will allow you to run the games if you've already got a dedicated graphics card. Especially if you've got an AMD graphics card and can make use of Mantle, then you can use you don't have to spend hundreds on a CPU then, because of the fact that it offloads a lot of work from the CPU. I can't even speak. It's ridiculous. It is very early for me actually. It's like midday, which is very early for me to wake up during the holiday, because I'm on holiday at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, the next question is from Beware Winter is Coming. It's a very long name, and you've got a very nice picture of a fluffy bunny rabbit in some snow. Getting a bit off topic there, but anyway, he says, please help, I greatly appreciate it. I will help as much as I can. So he says, I've just done watching your review on the MX2002 gaming mouse, and I heard you say something like a registry fix on Windows to fix angle snapping. He has absolutely no idea what angle snapping is, but it doesn't sound good. You're planning on getting this mouse very soon, so wanted to know exactly how do you do this registry fix. I have Windows 8, it's fairly easy to do. Well, I hope to hear you soon. Thanks in advance. Right, so what angle snapping is, it's not something which is specifically on the Perex MX2002. It is something that's built into Windows by default on all mouses, and what it basically does is if you are trying to draw a straight line from left to right or up to down or at 45 degrees or whatever, it sort of predicts that's what you're trying to do and helps you move it in a more accurate straight line. Basically, it just gives you a bit of assistance, sort of like aim assist. It helps you get that 45-degree angle in a straight line sort of thing, which obviously can be quite helpful if you're doing, I don't know, things like drawing or something like that. But in games it isn't that helpful, because you might be wanting to move it at 41 degrees and it goes, oh, you want to move it at 45, do you? I'll give you a hand with that. And that's not really very helpful if you're trying to accurately aim with a sniper rifle or such. So if you're playing like games like extreme super high power, then you will want to disable this angle snapping. Now, there is no way to disable it in the Windows settings, so what you have to do is you have to download something called a registry fix, which is basically just a DLL file which you can just download off the internet very easily. You can basically just Google Windows 8 angle snapping registry fix or Windows 8 mouse registry fix, and you'll find loads of instructions and things like that on how to do it. And it's really as simple. You're just basically replacing one file with another file in your like System32 folder, I believe it is, and it just makes it very easy for you to basically disable angle snapping, which makes you more accurate in games and more consistent in games for your aiming and such. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode of Clips and Tips. Be sure to leave your questions in the description. I always say the description, I meant to say the comment section. I really am not that good at this whole YouTube business, am I? But anyway guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment and all that awesome stuff. Let me know your questions below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.